Yo, what's up, world, and welcome to another Play Ones. This is August C. Jones here, and so I'm going to talk a little bit more about the whole Drake Kendrick beef and everything that goes along with that. I had dropped a video on Monday because I seen something, it was misleading, talking about that Kendrick was going to drop his diss record Monday, and I wanted to get my thoughts out about Drake's record that he responded with. And so I had basically was just talking a little bit in that about what I thought about it and just a little bit of stuff about Drake and just kind of like further thinking about this. It's a lot to dissect when it comes to this whole thing, when it comes to these artists and whatnot. But I'm just really thinking that, like I said in the video, Drake is in a great position. Like, if I was Drake, I would relish in this position. Like, I would look at this as they're only teaming up on me because they know I'm that big. Like, as people would call them, Thanos. I'm this person where you have to get like 6-7 guys just to get at me, to take me down. And if you successfully take me down, none of y'all can claim that y'all did it on your own. Even he can look at Kendrick and be like, Kendrick couldn't even do it on his own. He had a whole bunch of people backing him. And so it's like I would take full advantage of it. It's like, now, don't get me wrong, it's still a lot of pressure because you're looking at one artist. And Drake, from what I see, he hasn't been known to be that type of artist to have the record label not speaking for him, but coming on behalf of, like, well, basically helping out on behalf of him. And, a lot of times we got that back in the day with Rockefeller, with Jay-Z and all the beats that he was in. Everybody from Rockefeller was coming in, dissing whoever he was in the beef with and everything. And you got other record labels. You got 50 Cent with G-Unit. His whole thing with Ja Rule. You had G-Unit going at them. You had Murder Inc. coming at G-Unit and all that. And it was just vice versa. Like, it's countless times where you found artists and like their record label, or when it's that type of record label, not every single record label, but if it's like an artist owned record label or something like that, you got every single person in there dissing whoever that main artist is dissing. And with Drake, when it comes to OVO, I don't know who he has really signed under there, and I don't know if he has some assassins. I don't know if he has some lyrical like murderers on his record label that could go on his behalf, that can do what a Beanie Siegel would have did, that would have did what a Lloyd Banks would have did. But I can give it to Drake that no matter who came at him, he's basically didn't need any help. He didn't call up Lil Wayne, yo, I'm gonna need some help on this. Oh, hey Nicki, man, I'm gonna need some help on this. Like, he got in the booth and he did it by himself. So I give him credence to that. And so when it comes to this, like, Drake, whatever he does from now on, because like I said, I liked this record. I didn't love it, but I liked it. I liked it a lot. Whatever he comes with next, whatever Kendrick drops, it has to be fucking spectacular. Like, it has to be to the point where people are looking like Drake is on another level, because he needs to really prove it. Because like Drake, he honestly is at a point he don't need to prove anything. But I feel like he still needs to prove to himself that he's number one and prove to everyone else that he's number one. Because when you're looking at things, it's like Drake is at a position to where he could take a loss and still keep moving. Just like how he did with Pusha T. Pusha T not only, beat him in the, not only took the W, but he dropped a bombshell. Drake had a child that no one knew about. And, he had said, and that the child's mother was a former porn star at the time or whatnot. And it was like, that didn't do shit to his career. He didn't come back to that. I mean, he threw some shots after that, but it wasn't anything like the Duppy freestyle or anything of that nature, or back to back with Meek Mill. It's like he literally couldn't respond to that. But yet, he's still dropping hits and hits after that. The only difference about him and Kendrick is that Kendrick is kind of a different monster. It's like, I feel like Kendrick is a little bit more technical, a little bit more lyrical than Pusha T. And plus, Kendrick is at a different level than Pusha T. Pusha T is not put up there as like, oh, top 3. It's like, it's Cole, Kendrick, and Drake are the top 3. Cole, arguably, because I know a lot of people want to take him out that discussion due to his decision to bow out or whatnot before he even persist any further. But it's like Drake and Kendrick are basically at the same level. I mean, there are differences in their careers, but Kendrick is at that at another level. So it's not just, oh, I'm throwing shots at you and I can take a loss. It's like it's more at stake. That number 1 spot is at stake. So whatever move they make, it has to be strategic. It has to be well thought out and planned. It has to mean something. You can't just put out some like little shots here and there, little subliminals. Like, that's the days for that is over. Like, that's not even a question. You can't do that anymore. When you have that number 1 spot at stake, people are looking at it. People want you to defend that. It's like when you're looking at a boxer who has his title on the line, or a title on the line. Let's say the title is vacant and you got the 2 very best boxers boxing to get that title, to say that you're the very best. I can't talk. To say that you're the very best. Do you think that one of them is about to start hitting light, pull their punches? Like, no, they gonna fight like their life is on the line. They want this. They want to be number 1. Because along with that comes with a lot of prestige, comes with a lot of money, comes with a lot of glory, a lot of fame, a lot of just whatever. Like, it comes with that. And so, like I said, that's the difference. Even despite the fact that Pusha dropped that bomb about the child and the baby mama, it's like Kendrick and Drake are fighting for something different. They're fighting for that number 1 spot, literally. To be known, to be put up there as number 1. So it's more at stake. And with that, it had me thinking, because I'm just trying to figure out, like, back in the day, when it came to like diss records, you know, a lot of times you were judged off of how fast you got your diss records and how effective they were. Like, you needed to answer within 28 to 48 hours. Like, you needed to drop like quick as fuck. Like, that's what it was back in the day. You needed to do that. Like, you couldn't wait 2-3 weeks, a month, maybe 2 months, then your album drop or anything like that. It's like before, you had to go. You know, that motherfucker said something about you need to be in the studio right now. Matter of fact, you need to have been in the studio writing some shit down. And so nowadays, it's like people wait a minute. They wait for the album to come out. They wait weeks to months and everything else. So it's kind of different. And like I said, I'm still into music. I'm just not as into music as I was when I was in my teen years, like even earlier than that, and even like I want to say mid 20s, maybe a little bit after like 25 or whatever. I kind of fell off of really being in tune to music. And so just looking at like the response time of like rappers and beefs, it throws me off. But on the other hand, when you're looking at it, it's like maybe this is very strategic, because in this type of example, there's a lot at stake. So you can't just put out some just shit. You're going to be writing, rewriting. You're going to be doing your research. You're going to be trying to put in the best bars as you can, get the best beat. You're going to be trying to do all this and all that stuff. And it's like all that matters. But even still, a lot of people would be looking at Drake, or I guess you could say Drake is a brand. When you're looking at Drake is money. You know, you have Drake at your show, it's gonna sell out. You have Drake here, he advertised that, he's gonna make you lots of money. So Drake is a brand, and when you get to a certain point, you gotta protect your brand. You gotta look at it as anything you do or say can be held against you, you know. And so my mouth is dry. I think that's why I couldn't talk. And so that's why I feel like Drake, besides the number one spot being at stake, Drake, he wants to not be in the loser realm, because when you're looking at it, Drake can afford to lose. I mean, when you're taking out that number one spot, Drake can afford to lose a rap battle with somebody, because Drake, he can bounce back. Drake is so big right now that, you know, you hear Drake on the track, it's going to hit the charts. It's going to, if it's not number one, it's going to be within the top 5 or top 10 songs of that week or weeks or whatnot. So Drake, he can literally lose a big battle. And I guess you could say, depending on how you look at it, he could still lose this battle for the number one spot and still be way more successful than Kendrick. He may not get the glory, he may not get the respect and everything else that comes with it, but he could still have a blooming career, you know? Because when you're looking at it, Drake is just knocking out hits. No matter if his album does great or if it doesn't do as good as the last album or whatever, he's still gonna be making hits. He still is a household name. Because what is it, when Drake, I mean, when the Nas and Jay-Z thing happened, Jay-Z was basically, I guess you could say, number one. But when Nas came after Takeover, which a lot of people thought that, like, Nas cannot come back, but he came in with Ether, and a lot of people was like, yo, this is it. And Jay couldn't come back. No matter how many shots he threw after that, he couldn't come back. Like, that was the definitive. Like, that was the end. There's no coming back from that one. Where are we at now? Nas, good career, great career, one of the best. I'm not downplaying it, no nothing. But Jay is like a billionaire, 1.3 billion dollars net worth. It's like, it didn't hurt his career at all. It didn't, like, it didn't knock him down. He didn't fall off or anything like that. But at the same time, it's like he did well. So that didn't hurt his career. And I feel like it would be the same for Drake. Drake, he could lose this, just like he lost against Pusha T. And it's not going to hurt his career. It's not going to have people looking at him different or anything like that. I'll say this one, like I said, maybe a little bit different, but it's not going to affect his money. It's not going to, people aren't going to be like, oh, Drake lost against Kendrick, I can't fuck with him, I can't listen to him. It's like, no, he's going to bounce back. If not, honestly, it's not even really anything to bounce back from. Even if he's declared number 2 at the end of the day, it's like he's going to put out an album that's going to go number 1 next year or something, or whenever he drops an album. So I feel like he can afford to lose, but his pride and just his brand won't allow him to lose, because they need to be number 1. And he's going to do everything in his power to be number 1. That he can't be number 2, and he's definitely not going to be number 3, because that spot is reserved for J. Cole. You know, it's like his career. I'll say, if anybody's career is affected by this, it's J. Cole's. I'm not saying it's going to affect it on a like major level where people are just not going to listen to him, but it's going to be hard for hardcore J. Cole fans to listen to him, and people that are outside of their head that can actually think about this and see how this doesn't make sense, as far as, you know, you can't be part of the top 3 if you're not even willing to go head to head with somebody that is part of the top 3. You can't be number 1. Like, that's totally wiped away. So it's going to be in people's minds that when they're listening to it and they're hearing this guy talk about, like, oh, he'll crush any rapper, oh man, he's like number 1, he's Muhammad Ali, it's like those words are not going to hold true to him anymore. Like, that's it for him. That's the person whose career is going to be affected by it. Not majorly, but it will be affected in some capacity. But when it comes to Drake, because he stepped inside the ring, fired them shots, and not apologizing, and he's going full-fledged with it, he's going to get more respect on that regard. So Drake will be perfectly fine. I know I spent a lot on there talking about like Drake or whatnot. When it comes to Kendrick, I think Kendrick is going to be perfectly fine. If Kendrick loses this, I mean, I think a little bit more, like, he's going to lose a little bit respect, because I know a lot of people have him as the better lyricist, the better rapper than Drake. And so people gonna be like, damn, man, you was better and you couldn't beat him, So I think it's gonna be like a tad bit like lost, but it's not gonna affect his career. People aren't gonna look at him and be like, oh, you know, this and that, because I don't see how it can be. You know, I don't see how it could affect Kendrick at the end of the day, because like, he's gonna put out another album and it's gonna be something maybe similar to Mr. Morale or to Pimp a Butterfly or Good Kid, Mad City, or whatever you want to look at. And people are gonna probably perceive it the same way they perceived his other albums, because like he's worried about quality rather than quantity. So I think both of these gentlemen are gonna be good after this. I just hope that we get an entertaining battle. I ain't gonna front, it is kind of stressful because I want to see some comebacks. I want to see somebody. It don't even have to be as fast as Rick Ross dropped his diss record. It could be within days of like the other person's diss record, and we just seeing like a good ass battle. And it's kind of like, you know, like I guess you could say a little bit stressful to be like, ah, man, I want this to drop, and I gotta wait weeks, maybe even a month before a reply. But it's only been like what, like 3 or 4 days ever since Drake dropped his diss record, so it's not too far removed. It's not as long as Drake waited to drop his diss record, but I can understand the wait for it. I guess you could say like it's not really fear that he waited so long to drop it. It's just more of he's being precise. He's being very cautious of like what he's gonna say and what he puts out, because he understands that there is more at stake than just a win-loss. It's like his whole thing is at stake. Like I said, it's not gonna damage his brand, but it's a lot at stake when it comes to this. But yeah, man, I'm very interested to see how this is gonna play out. I've been kind of getting upset when it comes to the AI, but I think I'm gonna talk about that in another video because this video is already going long enough. But yeah, I'm gonna talk about that and get my thoughts on the whole AI thing, because it's a whole nother subject to get to. But in any case, I'd like to thank you guys for checking this video out, and if you made it this far, go ahead and give me a like, subscribe if you're not, and hit that notification bell for more videos like this. And I will catch you guys on the next one. So peace out, stay safe, and yeah, man, I don't know what to say. Peace.